Oops. Sorry, I was just shopping for new entertainment. Didn't mean to show that too early. Let's I prepared this. I don't usually prepare like an edited intro, but I felt creative this time, so.
Fuck dogs. White girls fuck dogs. White girls fuck dogs. White girls fuck dogs. White girls fuck dogs.
Oh, it's harder than it looks.
Sorry, I'm probably I keep saying I'm probably gonna get banned from YouTube for something like every stream. Luckily, I have submerged my power level. I'm on an obscure channel, not even 10,000 subscribers. They'll never find me. They're powerless to stop me. The word of the town, the talk of the town for this week is that Alinity fucks her dog. I will leave it up to you to decide if that's true. Though I can say this with some certainty that she is not, as some people would say, she is not white. She is Colombian, and among white scholars, she is not she's not Aryan. So I don't know. Maybe you'll take your chalkboard out and you'll take off one little line. Lick your thumb and just wipe off one little chalkboard line, and just not score on your own goal with that one. But I don't know. Maybe honorary, close enough for the purposes of me playing a Rusty Cage song. That is. Why the fuck is my background not working? Can nothing work ever? Is that like a thing? It works on that screen. Why the fuck doesn't it work on this one? Oh, whatever. I guess we're just staring into a black void today. Good enough. Why not? Who gives a shit? Colombians fuck dogs. Oh, jeez. Ay, Dios mío. El Poro. What the fuck's the word for dog and so whatever? I've taken Spanish lessons like 6 years worth, and between high school and college, I don't know any Spanish. I know like Donde. I know Pantalones en Fuego. I know some Spanish, but not enough to live in America anymore. Oh, jeez. My entire intro, I have a card, I write on cards because I'm scatterbrained, and my intro card just says to talk about how Alinity fucks dogs. She's definitely more of a dog person than a cat person. I made the very astute observation that she threw her cat behind her in an act of hatred and contempt for her own animal. But with a dog can get right up in it. Can go for the biscuit. It doesn't stop her whatsoever. Dog's not getting thrown out the fucking window for doing that shit. If the cat did that, the cat would get a fucking broken neck live on Twitch. So, I don't know. There's definitely, maybe she doesn't fuck it, but there's definitely some favoritism going on. That's all I'm gonna say about that. We have some, what's the word? Catching up to do, because custodial work. We have custodial work. We have to catch up on something that has happened. Is Firefox gonna work at least? Oh no. Is this? Oh, you know what it is? NPCs on top of it. I bet you now. Yep, there it is. I'm just a retard. Oh well. Okay. Don't mind that. That was just some additional reading. We're talking about Foodie Booty. Foodie Booty says, well, I'm going to be okay. The incision has not reopened, so no repair to it is necessary at this time. The doctor explained that there may have been a cavity with fluid, and it needed to come out, but the fluid is not infectious. this can happen sometimes. He was, however, a bit concerned by the redness around the wound and prescribed me bed rest and antibiotics in order to nip an infection in the bud. So guys, just wanted to let you know that I will be away for a bit, properly taking care of myself. Much love, XO. Last week, I talked about how she was... Oh, I guess this is just the update. This is not the actual announcement of the issue. Last week, she had a total hysterectomy. So the cavity she's talking about in this update is where her womb would be. I mean, cavity is a very weird word for womb, but I don't have the original post, unfortunately. It's somewhere. I have it somewhere, but I don't know. She bent over to pick up something, right? And because like hours after she got out of the ER for this surgery, this very serious invasive surgery, she started doing mukbangs again, like the next day. And then at some point bend over to pick something up or plug something in, and she sat back and realized that she's now sitting in a pool of blood, of her own blood, because she had sprung a fucking leak of bodily fluids all over the carpet. And apparently this was because of stitches coming out or something. Apparently, according to her, it wasn't that serious a complication, and she's already gone back to making mukbangs. Her latest video, as of 18 hours ago, is cheesesteak and crispy potatoes mukbang. So her appetite hasn't been punctured at all, but she has popped like a balloon, as some people say. And really, when you think about Chantal, you don't want to think about the word pop in any way, shape, or form. There are zero positive things you could ascribe the verb pop to in affiliation with Chantal and have it be a positive thing. But that is what she has effectively done. Let's see. I have some notes for this. She's used this as an excuse already, this prescribed bed rest, to go ahead and use it as an excuse to order takeout. Because, I mean, anything can be an excuse to order takeout, essentially. I mean, I don't know. The doctor didn't really say, okay, lay on your ass and eat all the food you want. Oh, it's on my Twitter, by the way, the original announcement. So I'll read it. So I bent over to plug in my charger into the wall and sat down on my bed and heard a huge rush of liquid. Oh, jeez. I looked down and a huge amount of fluid and blood was leaking onto the floor coming from my incision. To emphasize her exacerbations with the situation, she used 3 frustrated emojis. I'm heading to the ER with BB. So she's in the car and he's driving, and her instinct, I guess, to keep herself calm is a form of enlightened meditation, like a Buddhist monk. She is sitting here on her phone, posting what looks like I'm going to guess that this is a YouTube community post thing. She really likes YouTube community posts. She really likes that feature, YouTube. Just some feedback. Just wanted to let you know so that you all aren't wondering where I am. I am not sure if they will keep me or not. I have not been properly taking care of myself and I feel so bad. Well, that's a fucking moment of clarity, isn't it? Even though she's like in and out of the ER, by the way, this is kind of an aside. This is a detour from our regularly scheduled Foodie Booty content. She commented, and someone posted this. Dutch Courage posted this very succinct summary of the YouTube drama. She posted on this Life by Jen channel. And Life by Jen is someone I've never talked about, but who I am vaguely aware of. She is super morbidly obese, much like Chantal. I think she's like southern US. And she recently moved in with a guy who is a literal alcoholic, like a in and out of a sobriety program alcoholic. And there are videos of him on camera, and he has like he's like the redneck white trash version of BB. Like he looks like he is slowly dying like the camera is a weapon that emits radiation that is slowly Chernobyling him into an early grave. And he's just sitting there staring at her, shooting in return. His eyes are shooting daggers back at her, and this subtle, quiet arms race is going on the camera as nothing interesting is being said, but a lot is being said by the dynamics of this morbidly obese woman, like showing off this trophy husband who's cooking for her, and he is obviously very unhappy to be on camera. And so her drama is this guy is obviously not into her. This guy is obviously like a homeless person who would be on the streets if not for the fact that he has nested in this fat hen's little chicken coop. And Footy Booty comes to in an act of genuine selflessness, a rare moment of courage on the Footy Booty's part, rushes to her aid to defend her in her honor and says, "I knew it was all hogwash, Jen. People are bored on here, and that's what they do. Make shit up. It's a problem as they use this as a means of entertainment." Oh no. I used to think that Vegan Cupcake was fair, but I saw that and I guess Vegan Cupcake's a YouTube channel, but I saw that she hearts and replies to insulting comments about you and Gene. Oh no. That's something that only a whammon and a very insecure man would pay attention to. Hearts and likes about shit. Don't listen to it at all. Like what happened with me. They want you guys to fail and they want to get a rise. Also, they can have something to do. Something to talk about. Your videos were down for less than a day, and already Facebook groups were discussing it, etc., etc. Rolling eyes emoji. I know I freaked out at you in a bitchy moment, but I always care about you and wish you the best. XO. This has devolved. Actually, can I pause on the fact that she basically admits she reads drama groups that make fun of Life by Jen? That's a very niche thing. I need to open a board specifically for like old middle-aged women who want to talk about Life by Jen. I guess that's the beauty parlor is. Probably a little bit younger than that, whatever. Flooby Booby says, type girl cool. Just have to make everything about you. Go away, you dumb cow, and take care of your dying body. Wow, what poetry murdered by words from this random person. Chantal, I'm shocked you have time to leave comments. I can't believe you actually took a break from shoveling your fat, nasty face with thousands of calories. You're repulsive, and nobody likes your nasty ass. Go eat some more so you can weigh 600 pounds too. Foodie hears/feels a gush of liquid gushing from her wound, but has time to post it to her community. And by the way, all is well, she updated. Jen, please don't converse with that female. These people are weird. I want to see her reply. Is there any more that's funny? Foodie Booty is just bad news. She's so desperate to be liked by you. Oh, this is a reply to the type girl cool, the very eloquent woman that I quoted before, the first one. How about you take care of your dying brain, Flooby Booby Lamau? So stupid, do better. I like that comment a lot. That was pretty effective, I think. She replies, "Oh, someone is triggered," laughing while crying emoji. "It must be so miserable being you. I mean, look at you, Chantal. You are only getting fatter. You can't stick to anything for too long because you are too stupid and impulsive to do so. And let's not forget that you are a laughingstock. Yikes. What a sad and pathetic human being you are." Wow, she really does not like this type girl cool. Who gives, and again, this is like in between her total hysterectomy and her popping like a balloon and coming back on a schedule of antibiotics. She is arguing with these random fucking people on this random fucking YouTube channel. It's like in the comments of a video by some woman who records her alcoholic fiance cooking potatoes and bacon and shit. Who gives a fuck? I don't stick to a diet or get fatter, which I am the same weight, but okay. Do you go around fat shaming people? Oh, fuck me. You're probably fat too. That's probably true. Just like the rest of these intelligent critics of YouTube. Get the fuck out. Why am I even arguing with these sheeple with amoeba brains? And you're the one who is triggered since you commented your rubbish first. Dismissed. Middle finger emoji. Sheeple. Is she fucking Alex Jones now? Wake up, sheeple. I'm actually thin. Genie Aloha, why are you watching my videos? And if they discuss you, get the stick out of your ass. Everyone farts. So the name of, she should write a kid's book. Everybody farts. I don't know. It keeps going on. I'll read another exchange between Type Girl and Foodie because that seems to be the sparks. Sorry, Chantal, but I'm not fat. Not everyone who doesn't like you is fat, but of course your pea-sized brain. What? Pea-size is much bigger than amoeba-sized brain, Type Girl. Cool. You need to atomize that shit a little bit more. Can't possibly comprehend that. And if you woke up 120 pounds, skinny legend, you would fat shame everybody and their mother. We all know that you hate being fat, but are too dumb, lazy, and impulsive to do anything about it. So, bitch, shut the fuck up. So, my hands are not what was gushing fluid. It was my abdomen incision. Oh, she's talking about why she's doing this with her injuries. Her hands are still, as long as her hands are intact, it does not matter how deteriorated the rest of this water balloon is. She will continue to comment and shoot down the trolls for the rest of her days, I guess, which may not be too long. Life by Jen did comment, by the way, and said, yeesh, this escalated quickly. All of this is uncalled for, and I'm directing this towards everyone. I don't care who started it or who felt justified to reply. It's just childish. And now I see how stupid I look fighting with these people in the comments. So I guess this wasn't all for nothing. We may talk about her one day. Look, that's the picture of her. You can see her in the top left. She's very fat. I haven't actually seen a picture of her. I've just seen the video where her husband is cooking for her. Not her husband, but her boyfriend who moved in is cooking for her. And it's, I don't know. I'll take a look. Because, I mean, Chantal might die. Me and Toad have to team up and scout the prairies for some new meat. Let's see. Okay, enough of this. Be gone. Oh, my man Jim. I heard about YouTube drama, and I immediately went ahead and looked at Jim Sterling, hoping for my man Jim to illuminate me on the YouTube issue, because Jim is usually very on top of these types of things. He watches YouTube very closely, so I rush over, hoping for some information, some explanation of what's happened. And no, he doesn't have anything to say. He got hit by it. He got hit by this drama, but he hasn't really said that much. Get Jim on? I don't think Jim wants to talk to me. The other Jim, though, has been on top of this. So I flip between my Jims for information. This is apparently... Actually, I have the regular tweet right here. Jim, our Jim has been talking about this a lot because he doesn't like Susan Wojcicki or whatever the fuck. This guy made Let's Play of Alice Madness Returns and got hit with a copyright complaint by this illustrated sound music that they replied to. And I think he made this game, or he was a composer. He's an American game designer, and I think he made or was a part of Alice Madness Returns. He did a Let's Play of his own game, and he got hit with a copyright strike for his own Let's Play of his own game, which is a bit funny. And their reply is, thanks for bringing this to attention. You can repeal it here. And then he posts the box art, which is great, and he highlights an American McGee game, and this is from @AmericanMcGee. So it's just really funny, and this is a lot of people who have been hit by it. Like, there are some people. Oh, geez, where is it? I think Jim had the actual screenshot where they. Oh, I know who had the screenshot I'm looking for. I was best illuminated by what was going on by DarkSydePhil, because DarkSydePhil is the real watchdog of YouTube, not Jim Sterling. Nobody cares about Jim Sterling or Medicare. It's DarkSydePhil, who at 9:31 a.m. I like how Soap Queen put this together in such a way that there's like a exact timestamp for each tweet that goes out. Apparently, a company named Illustrated Sound Music purchased the rights to a ton of video game soundtracks and loaded them into YouTube's Content ID system this morning. So far, 70 videos claimed and counting, including Alan Wake, Crisis 2, BioShock Infinite, and more. Delightful. Really, as far as that goes, as like a first tweet, like he wakes up, DarkSydePhil rises from what I assume is a coffin in like a room built out of like concrete blocks so that he can sleep in darkness like he deserves. He rises from his coffin and he goes to his computer and he sees what's going on, and he immediately knows. DarkSydePhil immediately determines, based on the nodes of data placed around him, what few scant nodes of data there are, that number one, this is an American music company. Number two, they bought existing music rights. Number three, they put it in YouTube Content ID. And number four, all videos on YouTube right now that feature this music are retroactively getting Content ID'd all at once. Sometimes hundreds of videos in his instance. So that's that detective brain. That's that, 15 years on YouTube paying off for him. And one step further, a mere 15 minutes later, it's like that robot from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, how it needs like 1 million years to deduce the meaning of life is 42. DarkSydePhil needs 15 minutes to deduce more than that. Illustrated Sound Music is erroneously claiming the visual content of a huge amount of LPs on YouTube right now on behalf of a particular Let's Player. Completely illegal, and considering the sheer amount of videos being affected, must be fixed immediately. And the real great thing about that is, I think... Is this the one? No, it's not the one. That comes a little bit later. He makes fun of, like a minute later, he makes fun of YouTube, like jams his finger in the wound. Someone says, well, it's a good thing you're not a YouTube Let's Player anymore, right? He says, yep, back in the day, this would be a disaster. Today, not so much. He engages some more people who are apparently Let's Players, and eventually does an update saying, so far, over 500, this is, I guess, 12 hours later, so far, over 500 of my gameplay videos have been illegally claimed by Illustrated Sound Music, and the number continues to grow. I don't have the manpower to manually dispute these claims. Will Team YouTube do anything about this gross abuse of Content ID? And he posts a screenshot of his inbox. Apparently, I mean, it's just hundreds of emails saying that Content ID is triggering. And he when no one else can, DarkSydePhil yells on Twitter, and he gets a reply from Team YouTube directly saying, thanks for reporting this. We're currently investigating. We'll let you know if we have any updates. And he says, okay, I'll appreciate the response here. I cannot even use my email because the spam is off the charts. I think this has happened before. I'm pretty sure this has happened before, where something happens with Content ID and retroactively music that was not Content ID then gets hit with Content ID and they lose monetization. And I guess it sucks. But really, what the fuck are you going to do? This is just... People don't really understand how YouTube's Content ID is not necessarily the fault of a big evil company being a big evil company. Like, yeah, okay, you have a really stupid system that's easily abused, but it's not their fault. Their capitulation to these rights holders is legally required of them. And I'll explain that in a bit. It's getting worse over time. Illustrated Sound put out a statement saying that we deeply apologize for the abundance of copyright claims on your content. We are working closely with YouTube to get these claims released and to restore order back to the Content ID ecosystem. Please be aware that Illustrated Sound's creators are not at fault for this error. We are an ISN, are firm believers in upholding the YouTube community guidelines and respecting the copyrights of others. We kindly ask that you be patient with us as we work on correcting these issues and releasing our claims on your content. So they passed the buck right away back to YouTube. And it could very well be YouTube's fault, you know. It's probably artificial intelligence at this point. All the scanning definitely is. And it's probably just gone apeshit with some new power, and this big purchase of property, as DarkSydePhil put it, triggered it. I looked on YouTube's channel, by the way, to find some kind of update on this, and instead I found them advertising these 4 people I've never heard of on the Streamy Awards, which is an awful name, by the way. Streamy kind of makes me think of piss, and it sounds a lot like steamy, which is like a big steaming pile of shit. So the Steamy Awards featuring Brandon Rogers, collaborator, I've never heard of him. Nikita Dragon, never heard of her. Ellie Mills, I like how professional these photos are. Then Ellie Mills is just like this random photo of her from like 10 years ago. And then Mark Robber. Okay, you know, I know this woman, and I'm ashamed that I know her. I also want to point out that every single one of these people are like some obscure shade of brown. Ellie Mills is the woman who had the mental breakdown about how she worked so hard on YouTube making videos that she had a mental breakdown, and it caused this big thing about how YouTube has to look after its creators and protect its creators because its creators are what makes it special, and creators are working so hard and they're driving themselves nuts. And Ellie Mills did like this freak out video where she was crying. She's like, I'm so unhappy, even though I make tons of money and I have to work for it. Oh, me. And she somehow became like an icon for YouTube. Like YouTube decided this sufficiently brown, sufficiently pale, sufficiently female creature is an icon for our goodliness, like our efforts to help people, so we can now make her like an icon for the community or something. And they're trying to like make her like a thing. It's like, I don't want to watch her shit. I don't care about her. Anyways, I just brought that up because I wanted to rant about Ellie Mills, and I have no idea why YouTube hasn't like said something officially about this issue, but they never do. So I was going to complain about the copyright stuff because Congress, as of October 22nd, I guess November is already fucking gone. This isn't really news anymore, but the CASE Act is a Copyright Alternative and Small Claims Enforcement Act of 2019, which is another way of enforcing copyright if you're someone who has not a lot of money to take it to court. And it's like it's going to be another, I feel it's going to be another kind of DMCA. And the whole reason why YouTube is fucked up and has this content ID shit is because of DMCA. I've read the law for DMCA, and I've read it quite a few times, because when I get a DMCA, I don't want to pay attention to on the forum. I look at it and I bring it up and I read the word of it and try to think of what I can do to fuck with this person who is trying to abuse this law to censor my website. And oftentimes I realize that my hands are very tied in dealing with it because of how it's written. It is very pro the complainee as opposed to the person receiving the complaint. So YouTube, if it didn't do things the way it does, would assume a lot of fault, and it's really forced to behave the way it does. And I don't like pitching for Google at any time, but really I think that our copyright system is a mess. And it will. I don't know the text of this. I remember hearing some things about it. I know that the EFF does not support it, and the EFF is usually the right team. Am I a Happa? I'm not a Happa. I'm like half Italian, half German, half English, and according to my ancestry or whatever, I'm 2% black, which gives me 2% of an inward pass. So I can only say it every so often. I can't use it more. It's like a racial skill in the Elder Scrolls. I can only use it once a day, and then it has to recharge. But no, I'm not a Happa. What was I saying? Oh, we should get rid of copyright law and become a communist anarchist state. That's what I'm advocating for, because really, fuck these people. Or just move to Ukraine, where there is no copyright law. Oh, well. Okay, that's that. I was going to complain about something else. Oh, stop DDoSing my fucking website. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the Kiwi Farms, like the last 3 days, has been under Cloudflare active protection. Because some ass, it's been going on for like a year now. It started up like September last year, where someone was actively trying to bring down the site through DDoS. And it's always something different. It's like a different vector every time. And when I have to change things and reconfigure things, I lose some of the protections I set up. And then he does it again. Like this is a person who is actively working on this every day. Maybe not every day. Maybe once a week. He gets together and is like, I'm gonna fuck with the forum some more. And he does it. So it's either a DDoS with like just a regular packet flood to the network. If I put on filtering on that, it's like a HTTP attack. If I change that, he does it a different way and makes it a slow LORS. And it's just there's something, and I don't know how to effectively filter out what he's doing right now without having Cloudflare on. So all I can do is just put on active protection every time it starts up and turn it off sometime later. It's a real pain in the ass, and it's really hard to find people who are knowledgeable about this stuff, who I can ask to look at it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff isn't cheap. It's a real fucking annoyance. So, you know, I think I have an idea of who it is, and the really funny thing is it's not Vordrak, I don't think. It's none of the bad guys. I think it's a like a person who like is friends with like a weirdo drug addict who has a thread, and whenever that guy has like a mood swing because of his meth addiction, he asks his friend who's like a semi kind of gray hat kind of person to just fuck with the site some, and it happens every like once a month. I don't know who it is. I'm pretty sure it's them. But I don't really pay any attention to it because it doesn't matter who it is. It just sucks because, like, I refuse to do anything for anyone, especially by coercion. So I just ignore it. I'll fix it one day. I guess I haven't been very productive this month. November basically is like a hole in my brain. It's just completely burned out because I didn't do anything. BitChute. BitChute is worth talking about because that's Boogie. I'll talk about him too. I thought I had something for this. There's a gem tweet for it. Where is it? What the fuck is it? Because he's like a beta tester for there it is, for their new live streaming system, and apparently they're going to do a crowd fund for their live streaming thing. And while that sounds promising, it would be very cool for BitChute to have live streaming. There is a article by Frederick, the Frederick that is currently embroiled in a criminal defamation case in the Philippines, the founder of 8chan. And the article basically says that BitChute lies about being peer-to-peer, and he's effectively correct. A lot of people got mad at him, like, oh, now he's going after BitChute because he's like a shill for liberals or something. But really, the thesis of his article is correct. BitChute is fundamentally not peer-to-peer. Technically, there is a BitTorrenting aspect to BitChute, where you can provide your own bandwidth by hosting a copy of your videos locally so that they're not all centralized on BitChute. But if BitChute gets attacked and it goes down, then it is effectively, it's effectively gone, right? And just because some videos are being hosted on various peers on BitTorrent does not mean that it is a peer-to-peer service. It's not like the KiwiFarms.cc, which is I can't pronounce this word. It's like a biblical word. Paloma instance, and that is on the Fediverse, which is like a decentralized Twitter. If you go to kiwifarms.cc and you take it down, whatever, if I take down this instance, the rest of the Fediverse, I guess I probably shouldn't have opened this because there's anime boobs, but the rest of the Fediverse stays up, right? Like this guy's is on Gab. This Booby Bot is on pl.765racing.com. Those are all different instances. There's only one BitChute, and it's not federated in the same way as the Fediverse is, or other federated networks like BitTorrenting itself, IRC, that kind of stuff. So it really isn't a peer-to-peer service, and Frederick is fundamentally accurate in his article. And my concern with the live streaming is, like, the torrenting that BitChute does have right now is only for its benefit. You're lending your bandwidth, theoretically, to alleviate cost for BitChute, which can be a good thing, because then it doesn't have to be a massive corporation to host all the bandwidth that it would need to provide, services for someone like PewDiePie. But it's not truly decentralized. With the live streaming thing, that's also exciting, because I know that there is some peer-to-peer live streaming shit out there, but it's closed source. And I think I've said it before, but I'm not gonna promote or shill a crowdfunding platform for BitChute's live streaming unless it is promised to be open source in a way that I could fucking sue them if they don't make it open source. I want to be able to have a live.kiwifarms.net with a peer-to-peer copy or peer-to-peer live streaming on it using a copy of that crowdfunded software. I want to be able to theoretically stream tranny porn to 50,000 people at once. And if I can't do it, I'm not going to throw any money at it, because there are existing services out there that can use localized bandwidth to stream to people, but I only have like a 1 gigabit per second line with my data center to stream. Like, Jim gets 25,000 people watching his streams. Even if he were to stream at 720p, it would still be dozens of gigabits per second in up bandwidth. Theoretically, with a peer-to-peer service, you could have 100,000 people watching a live stream on this system and not hit a gigabit of bandwidth upstream because of the peer-to-peer networking. That's ideal, and that would instantly obsolete things like YouTube Live and even DLive, because you could have your live.kiwifarms.net. Jim could buy MrMediker.com and live stream to 100,000 people if he wanted to. Ralph could make it a subdomain or a page on the RalphRetort.com. Dick could have it on the Dick.show. It's a very important thing that already exists and needs to be redone in a way that is functional and consumer friendly and open source, so that people can use it in a real development environment, real production environment, sorry, like for how they do it normally. So, BitChute making its live streaming service is whatever. There's already lots of competition out there. But I'm tired of more centralized solutions, because they always fail. DLive was not what people hoped it would be. Mixer was not what people thought it would be. Mixer is even worse than Twitch somehow. And all of these services, if they ever did get big, if BitChute ever got big, the owner of the company, BitChute, is an Englishman. He's an Anglo. I trust him for nothing. So really, enough. It's insufficient to keep jumping between centralized providers. Either they make it open source, or it's not worth anything. Oh, yeah, and rip Stream.me, exactly. Point in fucking case. Stream.me existed. It was a good thing. Everyone had fun there. It was a weird Wild West period, but the people who hosted that site dealt with a lot of shit they couldn't, or were forced to deal with a lot of shit they didn't have the capacity to deal with, and they shut it down because it was a burden to them. That's how it will always be. There's a reason why there isn't shit like why 8chan is so hard to host, and why things like Stream.me are impractical to host, and why we have to have decentralized options, because Otherwise, everything's just going to be shit forever. All right, let's listen to Boogie Lie while I take a drink. Oh, where's my Boogie lying video? Wait, I know where it's at.
Blakey, and that's the coolest fucking thing about all this. So I'm going to tell you nobody's going to believe anything I'm about to say. Nobody's going to believe anything I'm about to say. This is going to be on the front page of Reddit where Boogie lies about God or something. I don't know what it's going to fucking say. But I've debated telling this story. I'm going to tell the story anyway. If this is used against me, I at this point, I'm not surprised anymore. So, I think I found God. It's pretty crazy. So let me explain myself. But I think I found God through this. I think I might be more religious now. So, like I said, trying to stop in time, and I fail, and I have one thought: put it into a ditch. I don't think that was me thinking that thought. I think that was fate, or God, if you will, or karma, or whatever it is. I don't know. I'd like to think I'm good enough of a person to where I would try to put it into a ditch. I don't know. But then my car hits that ditch, which is like a good 6-foot drop. It was considerably taller than the car. I hit that ditch. I could have flipped that car. I could have turned it on its side. That engine could have caught fire. The glass, I could have went through the windshield. But I was wearing my seatbelt because you guys said, put on your seatbelt, get off your phone. Put on your seatbelt, get off your phone. And when I read it, I listened. And because of you guys, I was wearing my seatbelt and I was off my fucking phone. Call that karma, call that fate, call that God, call it whatever you want to call it. But that's a hell of a coincidence, I think. And I didn't flip the car. I didn't turn it on its side. I didn't plow directly into the back of that car. I didn't hurt those 3 kids. I didn't hurt those parents. I'm the only one with a single injury in our little pack. I mean, the guy had a stroke, obviously had a stroke. And any of those cars up there, as far as I know, I'm sure somebody got a little bit hurt. But as for my little pack of cars, I was the only one to get an injury. So the EMT talks to me and he says, I want you to come to the hospital with me. Anonymous Redneck, have a good night, brother. Thanks for coming, man. Glad to have you, brother. He said, I want you to come to the hospital with me. I've seen people just like you in a car wreck just like this, fender benders, and have them die 10 minutes later from a broken neck, from a crack in the neck, a crack in the spine. Why did you lie about your car crash? I didn't. And then backtrack after posting your ticket on Twitter. I didn't. So that's easy. If you think I did, that's you. And I get it. Maybe something I said contradicts another thing I said. I was in shock, man. I don't know what to tell you, but I didn't. What I did do was change my opinion about something. Originally, I thought it was important to point out to you guys that a guy ahead of me wrecked, causing me to wreck. But forget that.
I think that's right.
Ignore that entirely.
I think that's all. That's all the interesting bits. Boogie, rest in peace, died shortly after this. No, he's perfectly fine. If you don't know, Boogie's on this weird fucking. I don't like talking about. He's like Onision in the fact that he's really fake. He just comes across as a very fake person. And there's a weird thing where he has these very pretty blue eyes, and whenever he talks on these, like deep blue, whenever he talks on these streams, he makes very direct eye contact with the camera, where you are forced to make eye contact with him if you watch the video. And I think to his audience, that's a very personal and kind of invasive thing. And I think that makes him a more effective evangelizer for his message to the people who are willing to believe him. And but it creeps me out because I don't trust him, and that kind of eye contact is intrusive as opposed to convincing, if that makes sense. He's currently on this weird cross country trip where he's visiting all the bad places of his childhood. His entire persona is kind of built up on what a victim he is and what a terrible life he has lived. He's taken a trip to his old family house. There was sort of this weird kind of thing where he set up where he walked into his old family house and the roof is collapsed and it's obviously water damage, like the insides. But then he walks up to the camera and there's these pictures of him that are turned over in these laminated sheets. And he's like, "Oh, what's this?" And he flips it over and it's like a picture of him and his family together. He's like, "Oh my God, it's a picture of me and my family." It's like he very clearly staged that and he kind of set it up for like emotional credit. And that's basically the entire cross-country road trip that he's doing. He very recently, if I hide this and bring up Firefox, he made it all the way to see his sister, and this brain prolapse guy is kind of on top of this shit because he met his sister. That's the picture. She is very weird looking. She said, "Made all the way to Virginia to see my sister and put the bad blood behind us. First time seeing her in 10 years and first time seeing my great niece ever. Family is pretty great." And he says, apparently, the sister has raped him at some point. I don't know the context with that. That's the weird thing about talking about someone like Odysee and Boogie, is that unless you've been following him for years, you kind of feel like there's context and a backstory to everything that you could not possibly know without spending hours looking into it. So I don't know what the deal is with him claiming his claim that his sister raped him, but he did get into an accident. And the top minds of Reddit looked at his ticket after he posted it. And they did photo forensics and kind of determined that the citation on the ticket was a 558136. And that is, in Tennessee law, where the collision happened, a distracted driving citation. So the theory is, because he mentioned it in his video, that he was not using his camera. He was live streaming himself driving at certain points of his trip. And apparently right before this collision happened. And people are making fun of him by saying that he was distracted by his phone. He was being reckless in driving, and he caused the collision. And they're backing this up by citing the 558136 on the ticket, which would indicate that he violated this due care law in Tennessee. He's been arguing with people about this in his very weird, kind of slippery way. Yes, has the ticket, says I failed to stop. Had I been distracted, she would have written that down instead. Look here, yes, it does cover distracted driving, but it also covers failure to stop. That's what she wrote on the ticket, not distracted driving. This is the part I guess I violated, as she wrote down. Exercise due care to avoid colliding with any other motor vehicle. I literally failed to stop my vehicle and collided with another vehicle. Had I been distracted, that's what she would have written instead. I get that you guys don't trust me, but don't you trust the state trooper? I kind of get what he's saying. I think that the way it works in Florida, at least, because, all the states have their different laws on traffic shit, is that if you hit a car in the rear, you are automatically, almost without exception, at fault. You did the damage, which is why there's the videos of the insurance fraudsters who box a car in from behind and from the front and slam on their brakes to force a rear end collision. I mean, it could be possible he wasn't at fault. And he's in the video. In the video, I mean, he's not helping his case really. When people are saying you probably caused this collision by being reckless and distracted on your phone, and then he immediately comes out with a video by saying that actually. I was not recklessly driving. I was informed by Jesus Christ in my head that I should put down my phone and buckle my seatbelt because a collision might happen in the next 10 minutes. And, he responded to Ralph in this one. God, I'm so sick of talking about this accident. I want it to be over so I can just be grateful to still be alive. I was too close to the car in front of me and failed to stop. I hit the car because of that. I take full responsibility. I was not on my phone. Done now. And then Ralph says, just ignore it, Boogie. I didn't even know this was still going on until now. That's a very encouraging message from Ralph. That's weird. It will be until I'm dead, my friend. Rest. Why does he always talk about his death? It's like he's wishing for it. He's praying to God, to the Jesus Christ he just found, to please end it. He was praying when he very angrily and aggressively slammed into the car in front of him, but unfortunately for him, his prayers were not answered, and he was just fine. Rest assured, unfortunately, I plan to be her as long as I can be. Apparently, there's supposed to be an unnamed YouTuber who is working on a big expose video to rekindle this fire later in the week as well. Also, did you get my DMs? That's kind of threatening. You get that thing I sent you? I don't know. I can't, I have to admit. Oh, you think it's Toad? It could be Toad. Toad's a popular boy, up and coming. Oh, has he announced it? He's announced it. Okay, I see how it is. Toad McKinley getting up there in the YouTube fame. Can't wait for his channel to get deleted. We'll do a stream together on BitChute. DM leaks. Ralph, what are you doing? Don't hide the content, Ralph. Chat logic. Okay. For some reason, Gino Samuel, the guy who's literally doing he's on part 26 of his, that's not a joke. Whenever I say part 26 of a documentary, it feels like a joke, like it's a punchline or something. But no, he's not even like out of the the 2000s yet. Like he hasn't hit 2010 in the documentary series yet. I don't even watch him. And for some reason, when his YouTube channel got deleted for cyberbullying, people blame me for it. Like I fucking care. But this weird-looking guy, who's apparently Gino Samuel, did an hour-and-a-half long live stream about Boogie. Or just watched his video, I guess, and commented over it with a green screen or some shit. I don't know, Boogie's weird, and I don't like talking about him, because when I had that conversation with Boogie on the Ralph Retort, people got mad at me. Like, why didn't you call him out on his stuff? Why'd you let him lie to you? And it's like, motherfucker, I don't know who this guy is. And when he talked to us on that stream, he was very convincing and very genuine sounding. And I definitely wasn't prepared to like tango with this guy who's apparently a master manipulator. Though I do have to say, in this video, he looks so old. I don't know how old he is, but I think he's like 30, 38, like 45, something like that. But he looks fucking old. Doesn't help that he has like gray beard hair and stuff. But yeah, he's not looking too good. He might die soon. And if he does die, nobody's gonna believe it because he's died every day for the last 3 years. Oh well. Is that it? I think that's it. Let me double check. I'm trying out a new extension on Firefox to put all my clips together. I could have made a bigger deal out of the Alinity stuff, but who gives a shit? All I know, you know what's funny? Okay, I forgot. I was initially going to introduce myself on this stream as being internet famous tweeter Leviticus 1918, because my fucking tweet for this Alinity thing has like 2,500 likes, which is quite a bit. I think I've gotten more than that before. But the comments are so normie, and there's a lot of black people who are interested in this tweet, by the way. I'm just saying that because I think black people have like a what's a word? Like a stereotype that white people fuck dogs. I don't know who has been promoting such lies, who's been singing such songs about such things. But the comments are pretty funny, and I don't know. I've been paying attention to it. It's like a little baby. When you have a nice tweet that has some circulation to it, and all sorts of weirdos who have no idea who you are start talking to you and stuff, and it's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. Can I talk to you guys about my hopes and dreams? Because I'm suffering from a ambition, an aspiration, which I feel like I'll never get to do. You see, Chit, 2% King. I am 2% King. Oh, I didn't. I can't believe I forgot. I didn't even write this on a fucking card. Simba Lion is fucking dead. I'll talk about my dreams in a second. I have to talk about this. I actually, right before the stream, someone pointed out that he had an account on the Kiwi Farms that had 3 posts, and I had to give him that deceased tag we give to dead people. I'll just read out the news article real quick. I can't believe I was gonna do this at the start when I said I had custodian work to do, because I was going to cover. I talked about Simba Lion being shot last stream, as well as Chantal, and I want to talk about how he died, and she is back in the hospital. Simba Lion, the 40-year-old man who police say was the suspect in the shooting of a pair of Monroe police officers, has died. In a tweet sent out Monday afternoon, Michigan State Police said Lion died over the weekend. Authorities did not release any more details other than to say the investigation continues. Lion was named as a suspect in the November 19th police shooting, but it appears he never left the hospital after being shot by officers who returned fire at him. Police was taken to a Toledo hospital following the incident and was listed in critical condition 2 weeks ago in the last MSP update on his condition. The 2 officers shot in the incident were treated and released from the hospital. Come on, mlive.com. Where's the editorial professionalism here? From the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So basically, if you missed last week's stream, he got into a conflict with his landlord. He didn't want to pay his rent. He got evicted, and when the police came to evict him, he shot him. Presumably for violating his non-aggression protocol. But they were better shooters, I guess, and they fucking murdered him in cold blood. Issued by the state. And now, and really this is a cover-up, because Simba Lion was going to sue Disney for infringing upon his name, which he came up with, and that the movie obviously stole from him. So this is a Disney conspiracy to tie up some loose ends so they can keep that sweet Simba Lion copyright all to themselves. After the success of their last movie, the live-action Simba movie, or whatever the fuck it's called, The Lion King, big deal. They gotta keep that to themselves. Glad I remembered that, all by myself. Okay, now let's talk about my hopes and dreams. Chat, I want to make a video game before I die, but I don't know how. It's very rough. It's one of those things, right? Where people say like, "Oh, I want to go see whatever. I want to go see Paris." The Japanese, they want to go see Paris, and then they go to Paris, and then they kill themselves because Paris is such a depressing shithole that literally beholding Paris inflicts such an emotional wound they cannot imagine a life of continued on past the post-Paris experience. It's like that. I don't know. I've played with Unity and stuff, but it's really hard. It's really hard to do something and to invest so much time in something that you can't make money from. Because it feels like when you're writing code and stuff, it's difficult, particularly because my real profession would be code. It feels like if you're going to spend 40 hours a week developing something, it should be something for immediate money, and not something which theoretically could turn profitable in the next year. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm telling you this. It's irrelevant, but It's on my chest. It's on my chest every day, chat. Where I want to make a video game. Make a cock and ball torture game. Oh, I have such a treat for you for the outro song. Hentai breathing simulator. I need to continue. You're right, chat. I need to continue my breathing simulator. A feeder game. You aren't dying for a long time? Oh, no, don't be so optimistic. Just code for SS13. Don't tempt me. I was thinking about that today. I noticed that when you had plasma fixation in a virus, if you put on a plasma tank and inhale it, it still does damage to you. It's like it really should be able to use a plasma tank instead of oxygen if you have plasma fixation. I was thinking I'll commit that as a change. I'll write the code and I'll commit the code. But then I decided against it because it's like a guilt thing. It's like if you're writing code for something that's not your job, it feels like you're a retard loser, deadbeat. Why aren't you using your talent or whatever for money? Why are you using it to fix something that is so weird and autistic and not profitable in any way? Okay. I just got a notification from Beyond that Space Station 13's online. That's my cue to wrap this stream up. I got a date in space, and I have a song that's been stuck in my head all week, which is awful, and I'm going to inflict it on you. So I will see you guys next week. I don't know. I promised you guys last year that I would do a Hanukkah stream this year, but Hanukkah this year falls on the 22nd to the 30th. And so I don't want to stream shit over Christmas. But Life is Strange 2 is out, so I don't know. I don't know what my plans are. I promise I will absolutely 100% stream all the episodes of Life is Strange 2 this month. But I may not do the Hanukkah stuff because it is over Christmas, and I consider like Christmas is on a Wednesday, and there's no fucking way I'm going to stream on Wednesday. I even, every year I joke about wanting to close the site down on Christmas Day, just for the day, like go do something else besides post on the Kiwi farms on Christmas Day. That's the most depressing fucking thing I can think of. And then people ask me not to and say they don't have anything else to do on Christmas. I'm like, well, that's the most depressing fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. So I don't know. I'll figure something out. I promise. But I will see you next week for sure. Okay, take it easy, my friends.
Crush my cock with a rock I must. Maximum pain I must endure. Okay, here we go. Maximum pain must endure. Brush my cock. Brush my cock. Brush my cock. Endure. Brush my cock. Brush my cock. Brush my cock. With a rock. I must. Rock. Endure my cock. Endure my maximum rock cock. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Cock. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Cock. Rock. Crush my.